Hello guys, welcome back to a new video on the One Sister channel where we talk about everything Fortnite creative related. Today I'm going over the conditional button and everything it has in store for us. To show you what this button does, I'm going to show you how it works. So this is what the conditional button looks like right here. And if I click E on it, I put a little text on the bottom that says item denied. Same if I click this button here, it will also say item denied. But as soon as I grab my item, come over here, click E on here, it will say item accepted on this one. And if I grab it again, click E, it will say item accepted again. So this is basically a button that you have to have a condition for in order to work. So let's get right into the video. If you guys are buying anything for the 2023 holiday season, please use code peeper. That's PEEPER. I would really appreciate it. It helps out the channel a ton. But let's get right into the video. So this is the conditional button. It looks just like this. If you go into your menu here, your creative menu, your devices tab, you can find it in here, or you can search up conditional and it will pop up right here. It looks like this, conditional button. Place it down and you will end up with this. So basically, I made a whole entire thing for the conditional button. So let me just move all this aside right now and let's just focus on the button. So I'm gonna reset the settings on this and there we go. So this is what it's gonna look like as soon as you place it down. Let's go right into the settings of it. Go into your 4 lines right up here, and the first setting here is activating team. This is the team that is allowed to activate the device and can trigger the button. So you can pick any team up to 100, and that's about it. Next one here is allowed class. You can pick whatever class is allowed to do this, all the way up to 16, I believe. Yes, sir. So if you have a activated team here, say you have it at 1, and you have an active allowed class here, also at 1, the player has to be on team 1 and on class 1 in order for it to trigger. Now if I put it on just team 1, the player only has to be on team 1, and if I put it only on class 1, the player only has to be on class 1. The next one down here is can be used by. It can be used by the owning team, other teams, or all. So if you want it on all, everyone can use it. Click the all button. If you want it only by the team that owns it, which is up here, the activating team setting, you can set it to that. Or you can click other teams. That means it's teams that you are not allowed to activate it. So you can pick whatever one you want here. I'm going to set it to all. Next one here is allow interaction. Do you want it on or off? Pretty simple. Do you want them to interact with the button? Yes or no. If you set it to off, your settings will change just right down here. Let's go to the on first, and I'm going to show you through this. The first one here is interact time, how long it takes you to interact with the button. It can be all the way up to 1 second, or as little as 0 seconds, which is instant. Next one here is the reset delay. How long does it take to reset before you can activate this button again? You can set this all the way up to a very high number. So your reset delay and interaction time, you can set those to however you would like. Next one on here is color type. You have your direct color and you have your team color. So all these settings will change depending on what you click. If I go into the team color, now you have a ton of more customization settings that you can look through yourself, like use color for hologram. You have a display main icon, and you can pick whatever one you want here. You have an alternative display icon, toggle icon use. You have a ton of different ones. It depends what you click for the color. This is just personal preference of what you want to choose. Right here you have your direct color. Set it to white, blue, any single color you would like. Use that on hologram. And right down here you can set your interact text. So I can say add items or whatever I want it to say before you click the button to put in your items. It's just whatever text you want it to say for you to interact. So I'm actually going to keep that there. Add items, just like that. Next one down here, missing items text. This was the text that it will, if you're missing items, this is the text that will show. Not to be confused with the text device, which I made myself, but this is like the interaction text, missing items. And you have your icon, pick whatever you want here, up to you. You have your alt display icon, you can turn that on and it will allow you to pick another one down here. And there's a ton of different settings you can do with this conditional button. But there's one main use, and that is to be a button that has a condition to push it. and I'll explain that a little later. Next one on here is disable after use. You could turn this on or off after it's been used. Do you want to disable the device? Yes or no. Next one on here, remain unlocked after activation. Do you want this to remain usable after it's been activated? Yes or no, on or off. Next one here, show key item. You want to only show the key. Do you want to only show the icon, unknown key? This is basically just a customization of the picture that is on your device right here. Next one here is number of key item slots. How many do you want to have? Do you want to have one key item, or do you want to have 2 or 3? You can go up to 3 with this, so if I click OK, it will show 3 items that you have to have in order to trigger the device. You can set that to 1, 2, or 3. I'm going to keep it at 1 just for the tutorial. Next one on here, key items required. Do you want to use stack size, or you can set your custom however many of that item you want. Secondary key items and third key items are exactly the same as the first one. So set the stack or how many items you want however you would like. Next one here is consume key items. That means if you have an item and you place it into the button, it will take it away. Do you want that on or do you want that off? So on would be it takes it away, it consumes the item, or off would be it doesn't consume the item after you trigger the button. Next one here, all key items required at once. Do you need all these 3 key items required at the exact same time, or can you do them individually? You can, if you keep it on, it will do all at once, and if you do it off, you can put them in individually. Next one on here is require holding item. Do you want the player to have to be holding the item in their hand in order to use it on the button? Turn it on if you want them holding the item, and turn it off if they don't have to hold the item, but it has to be in their inventory. Next one here is an enable on game start. Do you want this to enable on the game start? Yes or no, which is on or off. I would keep this on if you want this to work throughout your game. Next one on here is visible during game. Do you want this button visible? Yes. Hologram only, or no? Hologram only looks like this, where it's just the hologram floating. But if you set it to yes, then it will show the whole entire button in the back, just 2. Next one here, interaction radius. Do you want this radius to be interaction just like a button, or do you want to make the radius bigger? Just like that. You can make it interact with this whole entire blue circle. I'll keep that on. Next one here, show keycard direction. So this is, as it says on the bottom, when holding a keycard, we should show the direction to this device, even if it's closest available. So if this is on, it will show you the direction that the device is in if you have the key for it. You could turn this on if you want that key card direction, or turn it off if you don't. Next one here is activated by sequencers. Do you want the button to be activated by a sequencer, on or off? Yes or no. And here we have add consumed items to score. So if you use the button with an item, it will add it to your overall score in the score tab, or the score panel of your game, on or off. And down here, this relates to the one up here that we just went over. Score key on item 1 consumed. So for every 1 item that is consumed, you can do however many points. So say we put our recon scanner in there, and it will detect it went in and it took away our item. Now we can click on to add it to our score, and then we can pick how much score we want for that recon scanner. So say I put the recon scanner in, and then I get 2 points, which will add to the score. It'll grant me 2 points. This setting right here will only work if the one up here is on. So yeah, this is the invalid team / class text. This is the reason why your team or class is not allowed to use the button. You could set whatever text you want here, up to you. Moving on to the functions tab. We have a lot of different functions in here, so let's go over everything. First, let me reset it, and let me go through this. The first one up here and the second one is, of course, your enable and disable settings. Enable when receiving from a channel, and disable when receiving from a channel. Next one on here is reset. This will reset it back to the initial state. So if your button is requiring 1 recon scanner and you already put in the recon scanner, this will reset it, so you have to put in another recon scanner or whatever your item is. So this will reset how many items in the device. Next one on here, I will talk about this one in a second, so give me 1 second. Let's just skip that one. And we'll go to toggle when receiving from. This toggle is if you want to toggle it off and on. So this is the enable and disable, just a toggle version of it. If something gets sent to here, it toggles on, and if it gets sent again, it will toggle off, just on and off. That's about it. So coming back to this activation one, activate when receiving from. This was a little confusing to me at the first, but I figured it out. If you take a button or a trigger or something that can send to this device, I'm going to use a button for this example. So if I place down this button, I can go into the button settings and I can go to the events tab. If I go to the on interact, it says in here, click add, select the device, which is our conditional button, select our function, and then we click on activate. What this will do is when you interact with this button that's not part of this, when you interact with it, it will send to here and it will activate the button. So this is basically a way of using this device without actually seeing this. So if I move that over there, you will be able to use the whole device just through this button, just from that one activate feature, and it will work exactly the same. Now, one thing I didn't go over is how to actually get your item in there. It's actually really easy. You go pick whatever item you want. For me, I'm using the recon scanner. And if I drop that right in, it will get sucked up by the device, and there you go. One recon scanner, ready to go. And then let's bring our item granter so we actually do have recon scanners to put in it. Put it right there. And now if I click this button, it will activate this. And if I click the button here, it will activate itself. Moving on to the event tabs. The right one right here is on activated, send event to, and on not enough items, send event to. So I'm going to show you what this does in a second. So if you actually go right here, and just for the sake of the video, I'm going to do a a HUD message device. I'm going to place this down. And this is our thing we're going to be triggering if you do have a recon scanner. So if you do have a recon scanner, it will send to this device and it'll trigger whatever's on there. So let me go into the settings of this, and on activated, we're going to send to the device of the HUD message, and we're going to select the function, which is show. We're going to show our message. So whenever this is activated with our recon scanner that we have over there, it will send to the HUD message device, and it will say whatever you would like. I'm going to put items accepted, just like that, save and close, and that will display. And I'm going to make another one of these, a secondary one. This one is going to say items denied, and that will say that. In order to bind it to there, we need to go back to our events. We have to delete this one first of all, which is we can't have two. You're going to on not enough items. We're going to add our HUD message device to. We're going to set the function to show, and we click OK. Now, what is happening is when it's activated and you do have enough devices, it will send HUD message device. It'll activate the HUD message device to that one, and on not enough items, it will send to the other one, and it will say items denied. That's basically our setup. Let me go into the... Okay, let me start the game and show you how this works. So for an overview, if I come over here, it will say missing items, because that is what the text that I put. I don't have enough items. And if I click E, it will say items denied, because I do not have the recon scanner in my inventory. This button over here is just like me clicking this button, but in a different location. So if I click E here, it will also say items denied. Now, if I grab my recon scanner, I can come right on over here, and now it says add items. So I went from missing items to add items, just like that. So if I add items, it will say items accepted. Same with the button, item accepted. And it will take the item from me. And if you did decide to add a score, it will also add your score. So missing items, add items, just like that. And that's basically how the conditional button works. You can use this button to allow text to pop up on your screen. You can allow it to open doors. You can allow barriers to like enable. You can do a ton of things with this device. Just go through the settings yourself and let me know what you think of it. If this video did help you out, please consider subscribing. I put a ton of work into these videos, and I would really appreciate it. And once again, if you're buying anything for the holiday season, use code peeper, that is P-E-E-P-E-R, and join the Discord if you have any questions. Thank you all for watching. I will see you in the next one. A sister out.